Well, we welcome you back to another episode of the Student Section. I'm William Rosen, and we are joined by some stars of the ice. We are joined by the Marist Club hockey team. Guys, thank you for joining us. We have Sean, Bruno, Anthony Russo, and Christian Wilde. Guys, thank you for joining us. And, of course, my co-host, Tommy Armstrong.
Pleasure to be here, Will.
Guys, thank you so much for being here. Tommy, it's great to have you back. We're back, a little hiatus, and we had a great episode last week. But let's dive into this week. Your hockey season this season and last season, you've been a part of a pretty good tenure. This season was a little different. You had a new coach. Talk about the transition. Anybody, please.
Sure. I mean, first, thanks for having us.
Of course.
Appreciate it. Thanks, everybody. So this year we got a new coach. His name's Anthony. Before coming to Marist, he played a little bit of semi-professional hockey, or I guess you could consider it professional hockey. And before Marist, he had a long career of doing that. He's been around hockey for a while. And with him coming in, being a fresh face, being new, he kind of brought a lot of a new sense of passion and another level of compete that we haven't had in this program for a really long time. So, it's been great. I love the guy.
Yeah, I mean, right off from the start of the season, a lot of new energy, a lot of new juice, it was a fun start. And, I don't know, everyone's been having a lot of fun this year with him. And, hopefully win some more games, too.
Yeah, I'll say right off the bat, he didn't even make our first tryout, actually. So after that, he met with all the guys, talked about how much he loves the game. I think he brings a lot of young energy. He's a little bit older than us, but he loves the game. He's played his entire life, so I think it's just a different energy, a different look for this program, and I think it's going to benefit for the future.
Christian, especially you're a senior up here, one of the few seniors that was highlighted this season. So new coach in that one. What's it like for you being one of the leaders on the team, kind of stepping up with a new coach?
Yeah, I think it was really good. It was Sean and I talking to Coach, a lot during the season. This is the highest he's ever coached, so it's all new for him too. So it was really important that we kept in touch throughout, after every practice, before games. We kept in touch, on the phone. We'd call, text, whatever. But I think it was a learning curve for everyone, all players and leadership as well.
And it's not just coach. There are two coaches that are two brothers on the team, right?
Oh, well, you would think they're brothers.
They're not brothers.
They're not actually brothers.
That's an egregious blunder, a brother blunder.
It's funny. There's actually an edit out there. There's like stepbrothers, like a stepbrothers rendition. That's
what I think I saw.
Yes.
Okay, that's what I saw.
Not actually brothers. Disclaimer. But
any message to him as he gets well soon?
Yeah, he's been doing better. He was just at our last practice yesterday.
Fantastic.
So he's back up and moving around, but he's still battling. So
great.
Yeah, everyone's really just wishing him the best, quick recovery. So. Yeah, it's been getting better, though, so that's good.
Our entire, family sends our regards to Marist Athletics, us here at the podcast, and you guys. It's been a really good reception online and throughout athletics. So we hope everybody is healthy and back to full strength soon.
Yep, definitely.
Getting to the start, you guys picked up a really big win against Division I program, against Rutgers, that came in as the photo of the year, too. After that game, Christian, you were in that one.
Yep.
Just explain to me how that kind of kicked off the season and you guys rode through that energy.
I'll start with this one. So, really funny story. We were scheduled to be there 2 hours before, like every other game. We didn't have a bus, so we were in Beck lot waiting for the bus. Coach calls it. He's like, "All right, everyone hop in the cars." Everyone's carpooling. We got stick bags. We got jersey bags piling in everyone's car. We get to the rink probably 30 minutes before. We say scratch warm-ups. Everyone put your gear on. We're gonna get ready to go. And I think back to Coach Lobo's just energy. I think everyone was really fired up to play for him. We're in different conditions. We're never really just going to a rink and putting our gear on going. So I think, it was a great game and it was a great way to start the season.
Yeah, to talk a little bit about, you said there are different conditions. You are a club team, but to Marist and the community of Marist, you are a little bit in between a Division I team and a club team. You're I would say, the face of off-campus athletics for Marist. You have the support of President Wyman. You have support of athletics, and you put on all these events. Talk a little bit about how that range, that gray area of where your team is, and what that means, and moving forward, where you'd like to see this program be in its entirety.
Yeah, I guess being the president, I can kind of hop on that a little bit. We kind of are in that little bit of a gray zone. Like, there are other club sports on campus that, they compete just like we do throughout the season. are looked at as a club, but we just have that little extra because we practice 3 times a week. We also have 2 designated lifting sessions. We like to run video sessions throughout the week. So we have that level of like a commitment that some of the other D1 programs have that maybe some of the other club programs don't have. And also we have a lot of alumni throughout the years. The program's been around for almost, I want to say, close to 50 years. So with that and with the the support that we get every year with the alumni coming back and us hosting the events like the alumni game and the alumni event, it creates a different culture that I hope this kind of brings more attention to because it's amazing. It's unlike anything else.
Yeah, it starts our season first week of school, tryouts, and we ended probably like 3 weeks ago. I mean, we're still practicing once a week now, so it's pretty intense, long schedule, long season, weekends, probably 6 days out of the week we're going, so yeah.
Not being regulated by athletics and its parent entity, but kind of being regulated by coach and the general manager and you guys motivating yourselves. How do you kind of keep that, I want to stay strong in academics, but I also want to play, even though, this is not of the Division I hierarchy, it's not being broadcasted nationally. Where do you keep your mindset in all this?
I mean, at the end of the day, we're all here to learn and to get a degree and move on with our lives, but this is our last shot at playing the sport that we've loved and we've played for however long. So I think there's a good balance. Definitely academics come first, but at the end of the day, we all love this game and want to give our all before our careers are eventually over. So
it's special to play at a higher level.
yeah, definitely. I mean, this is an up from our club teams that we've played throughout our years. So I think it's just different group of guys, different everything.
You guys talk about how long you've been. You started from young ages, but hockey's a sport where it's not necessarily part of your elementary school team. You can't really, let's join the church league, something like that. So what was that like, sliding right into hockey, and how'd you guys kind of stumble upon it?
For me, I mean, my dad played just like high school growing up, so he played his whole life. So by the time I was 4, he just put me in skates and just was like, that's where I started. He just threw me on the ice and figured it out, and I fell in love with it.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like everyone kind of has a different story with it, being, like you said, it's not, like, as mainstream as some of the other sports. Me personally, my parents grew up being big Islander fans, and they were around when they won the 4 Stanley Cups. So that just kind of fed me right into being an Islanders fan and playing hockey. So that kind of sparked my interest.
Yeah, for me, my dad never played hockey. He was football and baseball. I grew up, I had a couple older neighbors that were always playing street hockey. I'd go over there, shoot around, and then again, I hopped on the ice for developmental skates when I was 4 or 5 years old, and then, took off with it. But when you say there's no like elementary league, that's what's really different. You join a club team, you're playing with kids that are from different towns, from everywhere, so you build really good connections there. And then once you get to high school, it's a little different. You're playing with the kids that you've grown up with, so it's a little different. But it's a cool aspect. I don't think a lot of other sports have that.
When you played hockey in high school and you played it probably in middle school, but as you were ending your high school career and saying, I want to go to college, was being on the hockey team a prime fit for you when it came to deciding between Marist and some other school, or was kind of I love Marist and they have a hockey team?
For me, I mean, being from Albany, it was like an hour and a half away, so my sister went here as well. So I really did fall in love with Marist first, and then it's a plus that they have a hockey team, because like I love playing hockey and I wanted to keep playing. So having that hockey team obviously like helped me a little more to make a decision, but for the most part, I just really liked Marist.
What's not to like?
Exactly. Beautiful campus. Yeah, I mean, I think same for Bruno here. I always kind of wanted to go to school to play hockey, but, as I get older, I kind of figured the academics are what's going to, as I get older, it's something I have to focus on more. And it just kind of happened that Marist also had a team, so, that's just kind of how it worked out.
Yeah, I would say same thing. I mean, I won't lie, the schools that I looked at, I kind of made sure that they did have a hockey team, but at the end of the day, it wasn't like a deal breaker. My high school coach, my senior year, actually went here and played hockey, so that was kind of a little tie, but I love the campus, so I toured it once or twice, and I'm glad I came here. It was a really good 4 years.
It inspired you to do more.
Yeah, exactly.
Staying with it. Talk about it kind of went through your levels of playing club, getting to high school, and now in college. I know hockey's a sport, a lot of transition. It eventually gets to being more contact and continuously add equipment. Tell me a little bit about how much prep that goes in and how quick getting into contact and getting all the equipment with it. Like, how's that whole type of thing go?
I'm a goalie. I'll kind of step out of this one here. The only thing I get hit with is pucks.
I would say, I mean, going throughout like every level, obviously every level, like everyone gets older, everyone gets stronger, gets faster. And so, I mean, really the jump isn't like seamless, obviously. So I would say like from high school to like juniors and like college, it's like, it's going to get faster and it takes a little bit to adjust, I would say. So really overall, like just every level, it's always a step higher. There's always going to be another step.
We got to know, how much gear
Yeah.
do you guys own? First, the two non-goalies, and then we'll go to the goalie. How much physical gear, whether it be in pounds or even a ton, but how much gear do you carry with you? What do you carry?
I mean, we got skates.
Okay. And this is all you carrying your own gear?
Yeah, in the
Yeah.
bag,
Yeah.
Okay.
Coming with it.
All right.
So we got skates, hockey socks, Under Armour pants, shin guards, socks to go over your shin guards, pants, chest protector, 2 elbow pads, jersey, and a helmet.
Some
And
gloves
then
in there.
guys usually have like 4 or 5 sticks, which is insane. But
Yeah.
So I could probably carry that. Right? I probably would just fall down.
Shoulder press it over the head.
I'd say it's probably a bag is probably like 60 pounds.
Wow.
It's a workout just getting into the arena.
Do you guys find it, like, obviously it's fun to play the game that you grew up playing, but as you kind of have gone through the progression and, not having an on-site arena, do you ever find just a little bit of struggle trying to, I want to get to this game and I want to play my heart out, but it's just hard when you have a back-to-back or have, 3 games in 5 days, or is there ever like just a thing that you try and get motivated by?
I think that just kind of is what makes our program so special, is because we have all these obstacles that some of these other programs on campus like don't have, because they have the facilities here, and we continue to come in and have that passion, have that compete level. And I think, that just kind of is why, hockey, and especially club hockey, is so awesome, because, we don't have all that stuff and we still love it. So.
Do you like the Clocky moniker? Does anyone call you that?
Clocky?
Clocky?
I haven't heard
Not
that
really,
one.
no.
Maybe a new term.
We get Maki sometimes. but-
Maki.
Maki? Marist hockey. Okay.
Maki.
Marist hockey. Maki?
There you
Clocky?
go.
So you guys are on that full-time schedule, season coming to a close. You said still into practice. What's on a regular off-season day look like, just to keep everything going, but at the same time, a little bit off?
Yeah, so we still have the team lifts like twice a week, so we still get all together. And then we still have a practice every like once a week, and that goes on for probably about 6 weeks after the season. So we really still have 3 days we're all like still together, which helps in the off season. Just everyone's doing their own thing, classes and everything. So just having those 3 designated times to be together, it just overall helps the team, just even going on until next year.
Talk about the bond you guys have. The 3 of you of course have so many more teammates where you probably are very close with them. How off the ice, how close are you to them?
I think just because, like I said before, with all the extracurricular getting there, it kind of forces us to be a little more closer because, guys have to pick other guys up in cars and drive them to the rink. And then we all just have to hold each other accountable because we don't have that, extra D1 kind of like coming down on us. So I think that kind of forces us to be a tighter bond of a team.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think about our team as like 30 extra friends. Like, you're with these guys all the time, road trips on the weekend. I think that, plays a big part. I mean, you have classes with each other. I was just thinking about it before. Like, my freshman year, there was a senior defenseman who just graduated. We're both criminal justice major. I just remember him telling me, take this teacher, don't take this one. Like, you need help on a paper. So I think it's just, you're just brothers at the end of the day. Like, and that's just how I think Marist hockey rolls for the most part.
It's kind of a family that
Yeah.
skates together. And,
Definitely.
And then
Yeah.
Yeah. Our coach likes to remind us all that we're all family and that, like we're not going to all love each other sometimes, but we all have to be there for each other. So.
what's this craziest that you could say on here? The craziest off-ice story, whether it be food-related or personal related.
We got to really think which ones we could say.
Which ones you could say?
I'm gonna pass.
Yeah. I don't want to
I
get kicked off
got
here,
nothing
so.
coming to my head right now that we could say here.
How about, let's pivot a
We
little
do
bit.
like an uncensored version there.
But what's in your opinion, your favorite moment on the ice, save-wise?
Okay.
I think. I mean, winning that playoff game my freshman year against Siena was awesome. That was probably my favorite moment.
We have challenging questions on the student section.
Interesting.
Favorite moment?
Favorite moment? I go back to what Tommy brought up before, probably the Rutgers game. Tying that game up with like 10 seconds, or I don't really remember, 14 seconds. Just really to get it done for our coach, our new coach, who was there for probably 2 weeks at that point. I think it brought us all together, and I think it was a really good way to start our season.
Kind of went viral, too.
Yeah.
Did?
Little.
I gotta add something to that. Christian Wilde's not gonna admit it because he's very humble, but he actually wound up like splitting his elbow open during the second period, and he didn't really. He was like, oh, it really hurts. It really hurts. He's like, I'm gonna go back out there, and he wound up scoring the game tying goal with I think like 14 seconds left.
Something like
Yeah.
that.
That was pretty cool.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Appreciate that.
Very humble.
Yeah. The lady told me to get stitches after the game. I was like, we'll see.
Did you ride without it the whole time, or you want to
I
get?
think I got it glued up. So
I like how he says it. The lady told me. just some person came down from the stands.
she was part of the Rutgers staff. I was
Really?
like, do you know who scored the game tying goal? She was like,
I had to say him.
yeah.
So you've taken a couple cuts, couple bruises, and very physical contact sport. What's
Oh yeah.
what's some of the worst you guys have gotten in, and especially you as a goalie taking some of the shots?
I mean, I'm not as like I have all that padding on, so like,
Yeah.
I'm not as crazy as these guys. But I've gotten like sprained ankle before, like pulled my groin a couple times.
I haven't
It's all
had
part
any
of the sport.
I haven't had anything serious here at Marist, really. Just
That's
just
great.
get banged up every other weekend and then just get back at it. But really, like when I was younger, it was really just concussions, and I feel like that's the major one. Other than that, like it's
Roll
just
with the
bruises,
punches.
and you just keep going. Yeah.
Yeah. I was just gonna say like adrenaline just kicks in. You usually feel it like Monday morning.
I was gonna say, what's that recovery like though
Yeah.
after a game?
Monday morning we don't have practice, so it's a nice, chill day. But I feel like adrenaline for everyone just kicks in.
Keeps it
You
going.
feel it after the game.
Definitely feel not having that cold tub too.
Yeah.
Do you one guys get? Oh, I wish we had that.
It's time for the classic student section question. What's a go-to game day meal schedule? And favorite food of those respective meals.
Okay. I can start this because on Friday night game, I usually go to Chipotle
Okay.
for lunch. It's my only meal.
What's your bowl or burrito?
We got white rice,
Okay.
chicken.
Yep.
No beans. I don't like beans.
Ooh.
And then that's sometimes a deal breaker.
Yeah,
But some mild salsa, cheese, lettuce. Keep it simple.
Are you a shaker?
Of course.
Okay.
Of course. Yeah. You gotta
Mix
mix
it
it
up a
all
bit.
up. Yeah.
So Chipotle on a Friday. Agree, disagree?
I usually go with Chipotle on a Thursday.
Chipotle on a Thursday and Chipotle on a
No, not
not Chipotle on a Wednesday. Not Chipotle on a
It's
Wednesday.
not that easy.
I'm usually big carbs, like a giant bowl of pasta or something before a game. Coffee in the morning, obviously.
That's
It has to
yeah.
happen, yeah.
Okay. It's a must.
Yes.
A very old school.
Yes.
That's old school.
Yep.
Talked about some of the moments on ice, but how about just like game day in general? You guys have the Pink the Rink, you have the alumni, so you got the new uniforms for that game. Senior day, I know extra special for you this season, but what's some of the games you really look forward to heading into a season?
Definitely the pink game usually. It gets pretty packed out. That's always a fun one to play in. Usually better when we win it, but it's always fun to play in that one.
I gotta say, definitely like the 87 Cup against Siena.
Mm-hmm.
That rivalry has been brewing probably for I don't know how many years, but that's always fun.
Yeah, I think definitely the pink game, just everyone in the crowd, just electric atmosphere. It's awesome to be on the ice when everyone's engaged like that.
With these events, you also have the support of the president of our university. How important is that bond? He goes to most games that he can, and he really shows support, whether it be in person, on social media. He loves hockey. How important is it over the time that you guys have been here to see him support your team?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's great for the program, to have someone like that high up to be supporting us, especially like we're a club sport. It's great, he's been awesome. He knows his hockey too, which is great.
He really loves you guys. He really loves you
I
guys.
think we've got him a couple jerseys.
Mm-hmm.
I think one of the alumni ones, and then just one of our new ones from last year with his name on the back. So that was pretty cool.
I think it just shows the character of a hockey guy in general. Like, he loves his sport. He's gonna, show his care for the club, care for all of us. So I think it's really awesome. I think it's gonna bode well for the future.
Kevin Wyman, I'm looking at you. We're waiting for you to join us on the student section. That'll be a blast in a year.
Another big component for your guys' team who's not on the team, your team photographer also gifted a jersey. I don't want to mispronounce the name, so I'll let you guys run with it. What has she meant to the team?
Nisi.
Nisi,
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Nisi's been great. Yeah.
She takes really good photos. She's there almost every other practice. She's fun to be around. Good photos. Yeah.
She's also a volunteer, by the way. She's
Yeah.
an angel. She's awesome. She puts a lot of time to this program. She goes on road trips with us all the time. I mean, she's awesome.
For those who have not been to a Marist hockey game at McCann Arena, first of all, it's 5 minutes away from campus, very easy to get to. Parking is free, kind of. Parking is free. It's actually a very fun atmosphere, especially on a Friday night. That is, I think, the prime game when there's not an event on campus, whether it be a basketball game or a lacrosse game or any other game. When you go and you guys are on, it feels. I don't want to say D1 and put you into that category, but it feels like something, not doing it for fun. It feels like there's a oomph to the game, right? On a Friday night especially.
Yeah, definitely always also like representing your school. It's always something. Like even in high school, and now that it carries on to college, like always just having other students there cheering you on. Always like it helps out, gives you extra little juice.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's just a sport. Hockey, you kind of can't do it like half pace. You kind of have to go all in with it because it's so fast and so physical. So.
That's true. Let's talk about the Four Nations. If you guys watched it, you really can't half-wit hockey because you saw it there.
Oh yeah.
How great was that? How great was that tournament?
Oh, that was amazing. I loved every minute of it. I mean, I didn't like that Canada one, but
Yeah.
I mean, it was great. Just showing like how passionate and energized those guys were for something that was not a regular season game or playoff game was incredible.
Yeah, I think it's the best thing the NHL has done in a while. I think you take a look at other professional sports in their All-Star games. I think, not going to take a shot at basketball, but
It was almost happening at the same time. You
yeah,
saw it.
I mean, there's guys that are just, having fun out there, and then you watch USA, Canada. These guys there's 3 fights in 9 seconds.
It was fantastic.
Yeah.
And I think Matthew Tkachuk on the Panthers said that was the biggest game he's ever played. And mind you, he won the Stanley Cup in Game 7. So I think it just goes to show the pride they have for their countries. And I think it was really good for hockey in general.
Yeah, you just answered that question, but I was going to say, these guys play for their NHL team, but you think the Four Nations, that just heightens it even more.
Yeah.
Once you throw the USA jersey on, it's different.
Yeah. We haven't seen that in a while either. The best on best, they haven't been allowed to play. So I think they play in the Olympics next year, I believe. So that'd be cool to watch too. More countries, hopefully. So that'd be pretty cool. It's always when it's best on best, it's always fun to watch.
As you close out this season, and some of you advance to the next season, some of you graduate. What is your message to the fans, to the Marist community, to the teachers, the faculty, the staff about next season?
Biggest thing is just keep showing up, keep supporting what you guys have been doing, and especially like on social media and stuff. You guys have been following, liking, everything like that. It's great. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Yeah, I'm excited to get after it next year too. Even though we're leaving Wilde behind and all that, it's been fun. But yeah, I don't know. Excited to get one more shot at it as we'll be seniors. So.
I was going to say, everyone appreciates all the support from everyone here. You guys covering some of our games and whatnot. You may not think that showing up to a couple games here and there really makes a difference, but it's really cool when you look in the stands. You see a bunch of people wearing Marist stuff, rooting you on. So it makes a bigger difference than you think.
Well, it's been an absolute pleasure, and I'm dying to do this, so I'm going to do it. I have to do it.
Might smell.
Yeah, that's why.
This smells fantastic. Thank you guys for coming to the Student Section podcast, Marist Hockey. Let's get a round of applause.
Thank you guys.
Thank
for
you.
coming.
Appreciate it.
And we will be right back with Cole and his new secret segment, Hot Coals. We'll be right back.
I'm here with my good friend, Andrew. We're here with
Dylan Magda.
I'm here with
Anthony Gallo.
Hey, guess who we ran into?
Hi.
This face a little familiar. And we're gonna be here guessing some hockey names. So what we do is we got some hockey names for here. They're hockey names. And we're gonna see if you can pronounce them correctly. And what we're gonna do is we're just trying to get some more names. See if you can pronounce them, some hockey names. Alright. You should know this one. I know you.
Trevor
Come on.
Zegras.
Come on. Future face of the league right here, potential.
Not a goalie, but Trevor Zegras. Duck.
Duck. All right.
Patrick Roy.
Patrick Waugh.
Wow.
French Canadian.
Oh,
Come
you're
on.
right. You're right.
One of the greatest goalies of all time.
Patrick Roy played for the Detroit Red Wings.
That is incorrect. It is Patrick Waugh, who is a former Canadian and then got traded to the Avalanche, and is now the current head coach of the New York Islanders.
Okay.
Probably love that one.
Igor Shesterkin.
You love scoring against that Big Devil
Oh,
fan. One thing I know about Andrew, Big Devil fan.
This guys.
Okay.
This one,
Rangers.
classic.
Easy. Yep. Igor.
Igor Shesterkin.
It's David Pastrnak.
That is correct. David Pastrnak. Or nah, okay.
I did it
different, but
wrong,
we're
I did
giving
it wrong.
in the grand scheme of things.
David Pastrnak.
Yep. David Pastrnak. Pasta on the Bruins.
David Pastrnak.
Close. David Pastrnak.
Okay.
Knock. What? Hey.
Okay. That's not bad.
Why women in the Midwest would say you're right? Yeah, we'll give it to him. Here we go. I play against you in the show. You should know this one.
Kirill Kaprizov.
Oh my God, he's a sick.
Oof. I know the name. I don't know what team he plays for though.
The Wild crew could be off.
Alexis Lafreniere.
So this is you got the last one. It's Alexi. It's French Canadian. He's the first round pick by the Rangers. He's not that good, but you know.
Alexis Lafreniere.
It's close. Alexi Lafreniere. Another French one, unfortunately. The French making it hard for all of us.
Jonathan Toes.
Toes. So this is a French Canadian, and they can't do anything right, so it's Taves.
Jonathan Toes.
So this is Jonathan Taves. Another one distracted by the Canadian aspect. He was Stanley Cup winning captain for the Blackhawks. What name is this?
This is Jonathan Toes.
It is not. It is Jonathan Taves. That is the French Canadian that gets you on that one. This is the current reigning Stanley Cup winning goalie, if you could get it.
Sergei Bobrovsky.
Yep. Sergei Bobrovsky. There we go.
That's Russian.
Okay, I'm gonna put a little bit of an R on this one. Sergei Bobrovsky.
He gave us the motherland version of it right here.
Yeah, I tried that with an accent.
All right,
so,
since you're so good over here, let's go all the way to here.
I'll take it 2 out of 3.
Can we go 75% right here? That's a C. That's a pass.
Let's go. Jaroslav Wait, hold on. Zvezhovsky.
So it's Yaroslav Slavkovsky. You have to go up with it. But hey, you got the first one right, and sometimes that's the harder one. This is straight from the USSR. We got to go hard for this one.
Yaroslav Skeshevov.
Yaroslav Slavkovsky.
Slavkovsky.
Hey, you got the first one
I got
right.
the
and
first one.
That's straight from the motherland.
Jaroslav Svajowski.
Close. Yaroslava Slavkovsky. Strong one there, strong. The ski's staying strong with that one. So.
Yaroslav Surkovsky.
Yaroslav Slavkovsky. Unbelievable. First one, he gets it right. Well, today's biggest loser.
So I'm Dylan Mack.
Making the swim team proud.
Yeah, we welcome you back to segment 2, a great interview and a great little new segment with Cole, but now it's time for Aidan Asks with Aidan Lavin.
How's it going?
And to
Happy
his
be
right,
back. Will, that was a great interview, especially as a club sports member of that community myself. I enjoyed it, and I hope everyone else did, and I'm excited to get going.
I appreciate it. Allow me to
Of
shake
course.
your hand.
Introduce the cast.
I will. I'd love to. Cole, Derek, David, Cece, and myself, we are here on the student section couches, and we'll hand it over to Aidan for his segment.
So we're going to go off the rink, and we're going to go to the hardwood, which sometimes they actually are a 2-for-1 in some arenas. But regardless, we're going to talk first about Marist specifically and what, for both the men's and women's side, what you need to see from them in order to see success in Atlantic City, being that they're playing the MAACs in, I believe, the day of when this comes out.
The day of.
And you guys obviously will be there. That'll be exciting. A lot of content coming from Atlantic City, from the student section, so look forward to that. But We'll start with the men's team. What do you guys need to see from the men's team in order to see them succeed and go as far as what their record shows, which is, they're a favorite in this tournament and they should be able to make it to the championship, if not win it?
Yeah, this team is very special. We've seen it is the best team since 06-07 in McCann Arena, and they have looked really, really strong at the beginning of the season, in the middle of the season, and they still look strong now. But what I'm really waiting for is for Jackson Price to get back. He's a difference maker, spacing, shooting, rebounding. He really just changes the whole look of this team. And Marist has played fantastic without him, don't get me wrong, and you may think I'm biased, and I am, but Jackson Price brings an X factor to this team, sort of like a Jaden Daughtry or a Jaden Collins-Roberts. You really can't have one without the other. And when Jackson comes back, he's going to, be, hopefully he's okay. But when he gets down to Atlantic City, when you have the spacing and the cutting and Jackson being able to shoot the three ball and cutting on JCR and cutting with Daughtry and having Josh do what he's been doing all season, that's what I'm looking for on the men's side.
To play devil's advocate for your response, do you think that it will take time for them to reacclimate getting Jackson back into the lineup, or do you think that it'll be smooth? And I also think, you want to peak at the right time, and currently they are doing anything but peaking while other teams are continuing to, compared to where they've been this whole season, where they've won a lot of games in a row, and now they're either just squeaking out wins or losing to teams that arguably they shouldn't lose to. And granted, it's the MAAC, so I understand, any team can win on any given night. But do you think the addition of Price back into the starting lineup, will it take time to reacclimate, or will they be okay and have success?
Yeah, I'll give you a quick answer because it is the MAAC, and I was if you didn't say that, I was going to say the exact words. They haven't really dropped off in performance in the last month since Jackson's gone down. It just felt a little different, just because you don't have that other three-point shooting threat that was there, and he was a big body. You kind of subbed in Matt McCool a little bit, and you subbed in Jason, and Tariq has been playing fantastic. But I honestly think, for what I do know, they feel confident that Jackson will just go back to where he was. Of course, there might be a ramp-up period, but I'm curious to see what you guys think over there.
So for me, obviously, Jackson Price getting back is huge. Like you said, Schofield and Watson have played really, really well. But for Marist, the theme for years has been grit and grind wins, 2-3 point victories. And I think the free throw shooting has to improve this year. If we're going to keep on grit and grinding out these close games, I think the free throw shooting needs to be better. I think that would be huge if we want to see a good opportunity when we get to the MAACs.
Yeah, I think it's free throw shooting. I think you mentioned a great point on Jackson Price, but I think it's more consistency down the stretch. And you look at the last year, they had troubles down the stretch. This year it's been significantly different because they played in a lot more closer games. But for me, I think ball handling at times can be an issue in terms of turning the basketball over. And I think it comes down to who is your guy? We always talk about it in Pasquarelli. First game this season where he did not hit a three-point shot. That's the only game this season he did not make a three. So I think you're going to need to see more consistency from him, JCR, and then if Jackson Price comes in, the question mark for me would be how many minutes do you want him to play since he hasn't played since January 31st against Siena.
It's kind of hard to say against Jackson Price being the biggest heavy hitter coming into March. We kind of see Marist struggle a little bit without kind of having a straight center throughout some back-to-back losses, unfortunately. Tough watch this weekend, I'll be honest. Lost a lot of money on that one. But I think the biggest opponent for this Marist team a little bit is going to be themselves, is the adversity they have to go through. My freshman year, we saw the 12th seeded Marist Red Foxes, carried by my Lord and Savior, Patrick Gardner, go all the way and take a Rick Pitino-led Iona team. It was like 5 minutes. It was a tied game.
It was a tough. That's a tough watch. Because we were just there.
I was at the Big East game, the Big East championship game. It was Marquette versus Creighton, Omaha versus Milwaukee. Get out of here. I wanted to see my Marist Red Foxes. And they put up a fight that game.
That was a very good game.
And I'll be honest, I think this year has the potential to be as heartbreaking as that. Because as you come into this, it doesn't matter what you come in. You could come in as the last team in or the best team in. And it's it's the mindset you come in with. I think the biggest enemy for Marist would be themselves. They just got to know the game they play, and they just got to keep consistent, as Derek said. And I think we're taking it home.
It was interesting to hear Derek say that he needs Josh to be a little bit more
That
consistent.
I think you look at it.
I love you as a friend.
You
and
look
I
at
love
the
you as a
times
dear
that they
friend.
lost
That is-
games.
No, yeah, I
The
understand.
times that they lost games this season, it was because Pasquarelli didn't have as much success in other games.
That makes sense.
Without-
Their best
It was
player
his
didn't
only
play as
game
well,
without
so they
10
lost.
plus the
without
entire
Price,
season.
he's
Yes,
getting
but-
a lot more attention, especially.
I think,
And
yeah.
I think, you look at Price, you look
well,
at other guys.
When your best player doesn't play so well, you have a better chance of losing. That makes sense. That's nothing special there. But Cece, what do you think?
I just like what he said. And if you ever see me on the sidelines, I'm always screaming when they get the ball, pass it to Pasquarelli. If they're ever 3 points up, I promise you on everything, pass it to Pasquarelli. He's gonna make the three. He's gonna do it. And last game, my heart was dropping every time. I was just, it was like, but players have bad days, and I think that how you were saying before, their worst enemy is themselves. Like, their defense needs to be on point. Their offense needs to be on point. Defense especially, I feel like they struggle in sometimes where they can't make those quick plays. Like, they can't intercept the ball really quick, or they can't make that quick block or that quick rebound right after to get it. And then a lot of the times without those past 2 games, even with the women's teams, they'll get the ball and they'll get the rebound, but then they'll lose the rebound and then it'll go back to the other team. And I think that's very important to get it all the way back to our court, pass it to Pasquarelli, get it back to Price, and then we're golden. I think Price coming back is going to be really, really important and really great for us, because then we'll have the big 3 back, him, Jaden, and either him, Jaden Daughtry, him, Jaden Lewis, those 2. They're the Drake and J. Cole of basketball. And I think with all of them back, it'll be the dynamic will just be perfect.
And to say about the free throw, over the last 4 games, we're shooting better than 73% on the charity
That's
stripe.
huge improvement.
We have been shooting well, and I want to give a big time shout out to Tariq Watson, who's really just been playing some great ball in these minutes, substituting Jason Schofield's minutes, who's substituting there for Jackson Price's minutes. His efficiency is fantastic inside the paint. His little 1-2 step shot right off the free throw line, and really the offensive rebounding, everything that Tariq has done over the last six games.
too.
He's strong, he's well put together, and he could really just kind of change the game. He's a shorter, low post big.
Yeah.
That really is not prevalent.
Excited to see his future at Marist for sure.
Cece mentioned the women, so we'll turn the page to that, and then after we finish that discussion, we'll do a quick little March Madness overall overview and what teams you think are the favorites, what teams are not. But for the women's team, personally, I am a big fan of Danny Williamson. I think she's a great player. Obviously, a former guest, I believe. Yeah, she appeared on this show. I think she does a lot as a freshman, and I think she just is going to continue to need to do more. And then obviously you have Morgan. But for the women's side, what do you need to see from the women in order for them to have success? And obviously Fairfield is a big, daunting task. But aside from Fairfield, and in order to get to playing Fairfield in that matchup, what do they need to do?
Yeah, they're a talented squad. They've really been playing significantly. I don't want to say better, but they've been playing more together.
Considering where they were last year, I
Oh,
think
yeah,
that's also
100%.
important to note. I don't think anyone expected them to be as successful as they have been. So that's important. And then
They're playing more together over the last month. We've seen Danny Williamson just shine on the shooting end, and we've seen Morgan Lee kind of just understand what she needs to do. She's not having a great shooting night, she'll pass. She's not having a great passing night, she'll just be a stationary defender, and that's exactly what the team needs. Danny's, they're a great group of people. They're just we had them on the show, men and women. They're just genuinely so nice, and it's just great to see them thrive as they've been doing in the last four weeks. But the main key is, can they shoot the ball well? Because they are on books, very talented shooting team. Morgan Lee from the top of the key, Danny Williamson, Corsentino. They have some serious shooters. Kira, Lexi Terrell. No, Lexi Terrell has been unbelievable. She has been unbelievable over the last week. So honestly, if they can get on a run down in AC, and then Quinnipiac and Fairfield are some serious players down there, it looks like we could have a 2-bid MAAC.
Yeah. I don't know if this is statistically proven, but I was just thinking about it. I feel as though when Jackie shoots the ball with confidence,
it's in.
The rest of the team continues, and that's what a point guard does. If point guard's putting buckets in the basket, then the rest of the team is going to play off of that. And Jackie kind of reminds me of Jaden on the other side, where they sometimes are a little passive shooting and try to play make more. And then obviously both great finishing inside. But I think Jackie, obviously a very good point guard, shoot the ball, have confidence shooting, and I think that plays off for the rest of the team.
The rotations on the women's side are more tight than the rotations on the men's side. The men are a little more deep, and they play sometimes even 12 players, while on the women's side that's not the case. So when they got to get in a rhythm. Down in Atlantic City, you know it. We watched that game 2-3 years ago with Patty G. He's in a rhythm.
Flashbacks. You just gave me PTSD there, buddy.
I'd say at least for the women's side, I think it's more about the bench. You talk about the starting five. Yes, they only play 8 players. But if Corsentino can get hot, if Egan can be that facilitator off the bench to get Piddick, not necessarily that she's going to be in foul trouble, but give her a breath. Katie Cunningham, that leadership role off the bench, I think is also crucial. But I think you talk about the starting five and the amount of minutes they get. Free throw shooting, fine. I think fouls is the biggest thing.
Pretty foul-heavy team.
If you get Morgan Lee in foul trouble, all right, basically 6'5", nobody else in the MAAC is really that big. Then you have Croker play the 5. Croker also gets into foul trouble. They don't really have a big off the bench.
Sometimes they'll pull Kate Robbins in, but that's sometimes.
In limited time. So I think foul trouble for their bigs, and then the depth in terms of scoring points off the bench. Corsentino, Egan, Cunningham kind of facilitate those roles in terms of 1, 2, 3.
Part of me wants to thank Coach Erin Dowdy for making that step. There were a lot of questions with Brian Georges leaving, and I think this year she's just done a great job connecting with the players, coming up with good game plans, and I think they just kind of need to keep doing the same thing in the MAACs if they want to make a good run.
Yeah, for sure.
You stole my line because I was going to say this. The coach, I believe, Coach Erin, she did really good this year after coming off of Brian for 25 years. It is not very easy to come in and being able to help them even compete at this level and getting a bye in the MAAC. So I believe that the women should come out of the season even impressed even if they don't win the MAAC. I think this season is a success in my books.
I mean, just like how I said before with Pasquarelli, Lexi Trull and Morgan Lee, they're my shooting gods. Like, pass it to them, get it to the end of the court, and it's golden anytime. I mean, obviously not every time, but that's all I have to say.
Who's winning March Madness? Quickly, men's.
William, as a kid from New York City, there was one place that was a laughingstock for basketball.
Oh, my goodness.
St. John's?
St. John's. All right. I'm going to do it. I have to say it. Rick Pitino came in.
You were just complaining about that Iona team, and now we're going back to Pitino.
Well, I'm a St. John's fan of growing up. I got to like it now. It's not fun when he's doing it to your team. We've seen it.
Yeah, you're right.
Their margin, every loss they've had has been one possession. This team, I don't even have to name a single player. Rick Pitino's mindset and his plays and his knowledge, that man, oh my goodness, he's going to make New York City great again.
Someone likes basketball.
I'm not going to go with the team. I'm going to go with the seed. A double-digit seed is going to win March Madness.
Double-digit seed.
This is a cop-out answer, but I'm going to go Duke. I know everyone talks about the freshman trio of Knipple, Maluach, and Flag.
Future net.
I think the engine that makes that team run is Tyrese Proctor, and I think he's going to make a big run, and Duke is finally going to get it done.
Oh, look at that.
All right, I'm going to go Florida. Walter Clayton Jr., the MAAC man. He's going to prove himself in not the Atlantic City tournament, but the true tournament.
Auburn, all the way.
I like Michigan. Watching Danny Wolf, he's fun.
Let me shake your hand
No
again.
Marist picks?
I love Michigan. Danny Wolf is a player to watch.
No Red Foxes?
Well, I said double-digit seed. I mean, you never know.
Marist is going in as the one. I don't know what you're talking about.
Marist is going in on the one. Who knows? Well, thank you for tuning in to the students section. Aidan Asks. We had a great interview with hockey, and we had Cole debut his fantastic segment. This has been a great episode, and we thank you for tuning in. We'll see you down in Atlantic City with some special content. Take care.